Let us see. Is it clean? Okay, let's see. We're gonna give it a minute to see if anyone joins, but either way, the good thing is that when we record it, this will then become its own little video. So then the video will be live for anyone that wants to learn how to do it that missed the live. Okay, hello everybody. This is Katie. She's my niece. Let me move this over a little so you're more centered. Come closer to me. Why are you so far from me? I don't know. Be on me. All right, guys. Hi, everybody. So thank you for joining us. So basically, this is what happened. I'm in New York on vacation. So some of you guys might not know this, but I moved to New York when I was 19. I met my husband here. His whole family is from here. So anytime we get to put together a little bit of cash and a little bit of time off, we come here to this house, which is my husband's twin sister's house, who has 3 kids, one of which is Katie. And so last night, she came down and talked about that she had a couple of jeans that she wasn't wearing. So what's the deal with the jeans?
So they're very plain, and I have multiple of the same pair.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something different.
So we were like, well, maybe let's go to Joann's and let's see if we can make something. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to try to show you guys on my phone, because normally during videos, what I do is I like put up my inspo photos. Can't really do that because we're live. So what we are going to do is those side stripe jeans. So I'm sure you guys have seen them. Let's see. Will this work? It might not work, actually. No, it's not working.
Do this.
You think? Technical. Wow, it's a beautiful photo. It's a good flash. Basically, if you guys Google side stripe jeans, it's those jeans that have like all down the side here, like that athletic strip. So maybe like a red stripe or a blue stripe. It's almost like a tuxedo stripe, but it goes down the side of either jeans or like trousers or sweatpants. Joggers. And it's a really cool thing because it adds a little bit of like style and a little fun. And you could do something like bohemian if you wanted. Like when we were shopping, I was showing you like there were like floral printed trims, right? There were sequin trims. There was everything. Technique is going to be exactly the same. We're going to be using Fabri-Tac to glue them down the side. So you can pick whatever you want, but that's what we're going to be doing. I love everyone's things like lower the brightness. I know, but I don't think I feel like it's just a little too gnarly. I'm going to try right now to lower the brightness and see if that does anything for me. Let's try this real quick. You guys are geniuses. Okay, so you see, we're going to do like that kind of style. So whether you do them on men's jeans, whether you do them on joggers or trousers, they're really cool and they're really simple, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. So the first thing that we did last night was she had a pair of jeans and we wanted to stud them. So these look like they're individual studs, but really it's trim you buy by the yard. And it's not super expensive. So all that we did for these, I just want to show you super quick, is if you want it, we wanted to do it on the cuff so that you cuff up your jeans and that's when you see it. And if she didn't want to see it and she still wanted to wear them, all she had to do was uncuff them and they're hidden. So to do that, I'm just going to say it super quick. Flip your jeans inside out when you're applying it. We ironed the jeans in order to prevent any like wrinkling from happening. And then you can see basically we just applied it right under that edge as close to it as we could. So we added a little bit of the Fabri-Tac and really, it stays wet for like a long time. Like that was one of the things that I was trying to explain to Katie is I'm like, it takes a long time for it to actually dry. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to hide it in this little side seam. So it's coming out from there. Push it all the way up until the edge and then add glue everywhere else and work in sections. So once this section was done, we let it dry and moved on to the next leg. When that one was done, we moved here. Same thing back and forth so it has time to dry. Then when you're done, flip it back inside out and press it so that can you see the crisp line in it? That's because I pressed it so that when you fold it, it stays and you're not seeing, because you don't want it to go like that. You don't want to see the jean. So that was this first pair and we did it last night. And then I was like, if we're going to do the next pair, why not go live? Let's show everybody how to do it. So this is the deal. Isn't she such a talker? Like, shut up already, Katie. Okay. So take this, Kate.
Got it.
These are the jeans that she had. And I think that these are really perfect. Oh yeah, the crystal mesh stuff would be really cool. And now, by the way, because of all your comments, every time I say crystal mesh, I feel like I'm saying crystal meth. It's really bad. Really. I know. Crystal mesh. But that would be super cute. Is this for, oh, hey, Kevin. Oh my God, Jack Mallory. Kevin does play sports. So there are two boys in this house right now that are going to send in very annoying comments. Here's Blake. You guys know her from my last live. She likes to crash. She likes to crash everything that I do. Okay. Would you like to say anything really quick?
Want to sit with me?
Do you want to sit with Kate while I do this? Oh, you have a full mouth. Go chew and swallow and come back. Okay. We just finished dinner. All right, guys. So I'm going to angle this down so you can see. So you want to take your jeans, and we're going to be doing this on the outside. So obviously this is our center front. You want to go to the outside of your jeans, and we're basically going to be hiding the existing seam that exists. Now, the most important decision you have to make, and actually, Katie, you have to make this decision, is what we did is we couldn't find a trim. So originally Katie wanted something that was like red and white striped, right?
Yeah.
Like mixed.
Like, yeah.
Like an athletic stripe, but we couldn't find it. But what we could find was cotton twill in white and in red. And by getting one that was bigger and one that was smaller, we're going to be able to create our own custom stripe by joining the two together. So what I want to ask you is you have to decide on the top. Do you want to leave this raw so that it sort of ends up fraying out? We'll cut those strings, but it's frayed, or we fold it down so that it's clean, crisp on the top.
Clean.
Clean.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd like to fold it.
So then there's another decision to make. It is if you want this to come up, where's the sides thing? Here. You can either come up and over like this, so it goes over your waistband, or we just fold it so it's nice and crisp, and you sandwich it the same as we did with the sequins right up to that hem right there, as close as you can possibly get, which we can make it nice and clean.
Yeah, I think I want that.
Like this. Okay. So in order to do that, take your jeans, and I'm only going to do one side just because obviously the second side would be the exact same thing and you guys don't need to sit here for all of that. Let's lay it out, and I'm going to angle this down so you guys can see. If, by the way, if any of you guys have any questions, right now is the time, because this, I'm going to sit here and do it. And Kate, actually, let me click this out of here. If you see any questions from people. Oh, yeah. By the way, I like the Gucci vibe. It's really similar. You could, oh my God, Mike is saying, hi, Mike Murphy here. All right, guys. So take this. We're going to fold it down to make it kind of nice and crisp. And I'm actually going to add, can I have a fabric glue? I'm actually going to add, come here, Lee. So this is my husband's twin sister, Katie's mom. And because Katie's a teenager, you know that she's dying of embarrassment right now. She just wants to die. Oh, as bad as it gets for a teen. And there's Mike. You guys know my husband and my son. Everyone's just hanging out and trying to be quiet so we can do this. They're being very sweet. Okay, guys.
He's on this?
Is he? No, he's not. All right, fabric glue. So first place, Kevin says Lee's weird. The boys are in the other room heckling us via comments. So right here, we're going to add a tiny bit of the fabric glue just so that we can create a nice, clean, crisp hem. So you fold it from this side, let it dry so that it kind of holds in place. And now I'm going to turn it back down so you guys can see.
Someone wants to know how to style these jeans.
So since this has an athletic stripe to it, I would just be conscious of the colors. I think something like this would look really cute with like a distressed white t-shirt, just because you're going to have the white and the red stripe and it has like an athleisure vibe to it. So I sort of think you should go for it. So right here, I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to add it right there. And I know that it's kind of hard to see because we're using the cam on my computer and it's not super high quality, but we're going to sandwich it right in the middle there. Now I'm going to take it. And this part is important. You really want to take a second to hold it in place because everything starts with the top. If the top doesn't look clean, the rest of it isn't going to look clean. So it is kind of important. So really press it into place. Make sure that it stays there.
Mommy,
Yeah, baby girl.
I finished all my chicken.
Good job. Here. Sit with Kate because I'm doing this right now. So I need my free hands.
And you do.
She's off.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I just made a mistake. We want to loop the red in. So we actually have to do that first. Otherwise, the red's not going to be clean finished.
Yeah.
So actually what you need to do is pull that back, take your red. It normally comes with a little bit of tape. Cut the tape off. And we're going to fold it under. That way both pieces are clean finished. So little mistake, but no big deal. I'm gonna add the glue to the back side of this, fold it down, add the glue to the top, and do the same thing and just kind of hold it right into place there. Okay, so I'm gonna hold that into place. And now basically all that we're gonna do is fold the trim back, and I'm only gonna focus on the white. I'm gonna add glue all along this side and sort of lay it down. And the most important thing is that you just ensure that everything is laying flat, that you don't get any bubbles or any gaps, that you're not pulling it so tight that it's curling your pants. So just keep it really clean. And actually, Kate, will you hold, like keep your fingers up there so that that top doesn't move. Okay. So now, are you guys able to see this okay? I hope so. All right. So I'm going to fold this back, and I'm going to put my first section right down the middle. Oh my gosh, I can hear the reverb from them listening in the room. And now I'm going to do it right here on the sides. Okay.
He's talking about my big
We can hear
debut.
them. Okay. All right, so see, we did one strip down the middle, and then I actually decided to add the glue just to ensure that I got it on the sides on the trim itself. So now you can see I'm gonna add the glue right here down the middle, and then here on the sides, because it's hard to know exactly where the right place is if I were to apply it to the jeans. Like there's a chance that I would be too far over, and then all of a sudden you would see it. So I've got it on my edges there. Now we lay it down.
Someone asked
Just
what
like
kind
this.
of trim you're using.
So this is cotton twill. The only reason we decided to use cotton twill is not necessarily because it's the best trim, but because Katie had like a vision of the red and white stripe. And when we went to Joann's, they just didn't have that much. So by mixing two cotton twills together, we were able to make it work. But if you like go onto Amazon and look at like athletic trim, or even cheerleading trim is actually always a really fun one. It's a little bit wider, but there's really cool colors. Because you could apply like your school colors if you wanted. You could always do this on the sleeve of a hoodie.
Yeah.
Would be really cute, or around the hood. And doing like a cheerleading trim is meant as an athletic trim, so it stretches, which is really important. This trim works because we're going down the side of the leg, and so it doesn't need to stretch. If this was going around like the ankle or around something that needs to stretch, this trim actually would prevent the stretch from happening. So you don't want to put it anywhere that needs to stretch, but obviously the side of your leg doesn't need to. Okay, so this is all glued into place. I just want to look at these real quick and just make sure that there's no one that has.
Could you use a gross grain?
Oh, grosgrain. Yeah, you could use grosgrain ribbon. Absolutely. That would look great. Oh, and the glue, I will link after the video is over. I'll go in and write a description. I'll link it, but you can get it Fabri-Tac. You can get it like Joann's, Michael's, Amazon, Walmart. It's like everywhere.
Nice.
Okay, so now that we've got the first trim here, it's on and it's connected. Let me like try to get rid of all this excess. Hold on. So what I would do is move on with the red. So we're gonna lay the red down the center, and I'm gonna eyeball the center of the trim, just like this, and just run it straight. And actually this is easy to eyeball because the way that cotton twill is, it has a ribbing that comes in like to a V. So I'm just putting the glue right down where the V matches. And now we're just gonna lay it down and hold it out of the way so you're not getting any glue on it, and then just slowly slide your fingers so that it's holding it into place. And you'll have time with this because it takes a second to dry. So we're gonna move it over, and I'm gonna just kind of stand up, and you can see that it's like, hold on, slide it, make sure that you're perfectly even. This is the time to do any finagling. And again, if you guys buy a trim that is already done, you don't need to do this because we're basically making our own custom trim because we couldn't find it. So you can make your own custom trim. You could do a metallic trim down the center, anything that you want. But if you buy a trim that's already done, this whole step is irrelevant because you wouldn't have to do all this. But you can see already how cool it's looking. Let me just hold it up. So it comes right out from the top. And here's when I would really take my time to make sure that everything is super straight and flat. You can kind of pull on it. And basically you just continue going all the way down the side. Okay.
Good.
So I'm going to do another quick pass down the side and show you how to loop and hem the bottom. And then we'll basically be done because the other side's identical. And then that's the side that Katie will have to do. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
She's ready. Okay. So lay everything flat. Again, I'm just going to look here now. Oh no, I just know
Say it's better to glue it down than sew it.
Oh, okay. So if you know how to sew, well, actually, I take that back. The difficulty with sewing it is not the actual sewing. It's a straight line. The issue is getting your sewing machine to be able to go all the way through, feed this all the way through your sewing machine. That's the problem when you want to sew things into pants, especially down the side, is you would almost have to open up the inseam so that it's flat, lay it and sew it, and then reclose it, which is just intensely annoying and I'm sure nobody wants to do. So in this case, fabric glue is going to be the easiest way. But if you have, like some of those older machines have a really small section that you can feed it through. Like my machine is a newer one, so it's kind of bigger and it would make it a little bit difficult. But sewing it would be a little more difficult for that reason. She's got twill tape, but okay, cool. I'm just reading, making sure there's no questions while we're doing this. All right, I'm gonna come back down here. Kevin. Yeah. So her brother, who's in the other room, he's still here, right?
Yeah.
Kevin, come here. Kevin.
He says I talk too much.
Yeah. He's smack talking her via the comments from the other room. Look at this kid. This is the brother. Bend down so we could, that's how normally, you know, how video works is once you can see your face and they can see your face, so lower. Okay. So this is Kevin. He is the oldest brother. Hence all of the giving her a hard time. The mean comments. So ignore if you see Kevin M. Ignore him.
All right.
All right. Peace out, Cub Scout.
5 seconds of faith.
That was it. You are in it. Okay. So now we're just going to do the last part. So here, I'm going to move this down so you guys can see. We'll move kind of faster now. I'm going to run this all the way down to the bottom. They are such geeks. Okay. Make sure it's not in there. Yeah, perfect. So flatten it. Make sure you're flat. This part now, if you want, you can fold it back and add the glue. So the two ways of doing it are the first way I showed you where you add it to the twill. The other is kind of like this, where now we can add another little section underneath.
What could you do if you got some glue on the outside?
So if you get glue, Katie was just asking, like, what if we get glue on the outside? Because I work with this stuff all the time, but for anyone who doesn't, sometimes you don't know how much pressure to use or how much glue you need to use, which happened when we did the studs yesterday. If you get it on the jeans, I would recommend trying to wipe it off as quickly as you can when you're dealing with fabric, because you don't want it to harden onto the pants. So while it's still wet, get a little, like a rough towel, like a dishcloth, and like put your fingernail into the dishcloth and kind of scrape at it until the residue of the glue disappears. And then you're kind of good to go and it should be fine and disappear. It does dry clear, which is one of the reasons why this glue is so great, but you don't want that residue anywhere. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so all of my white is on. So I'm going to add my red and then we'll show you how to do the final hemming. So let's run this all the way down the center. And I'm sure the resolution isn't good enough for you guys to see, but I am able to follow where the V meets in the middle. So I naturally know what my center is. So we're just going to keep laying it down. And I bought 1 yard per leg, but it depends on how tall you are. So 1 yard per leg gave me just a little bit of excess, but Katie's pretty tall. How tall are you? 5'9"?
5'8".
She's 5'8", which is really annoying because I'm 5'4". And I'm only like a year or two older than her. So it's like, so
Only
annoying.
17.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so now let's get to the bottom here. So here's our bottom. you, at this point, if you wanted, the very first photo I showed you actually let the trim hang down longer. So if you wanted, it would actually look really cool if you cut your jeans here so it was a raw hem and then let this hang about an inch longer if you wanted. The other way is that we would just now fold this underneath, cut off the excess right here, and fold it. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to cut off the excess because we don't need all of this. And now I'm going to do it on the actual trim itself, just like this. And a little more right there. And now just fold and press it into place. And we're going to hold it. Now, before you let everything dry, I would really take your time to kind of like flatten it out, almost like pull on the bottom and the top at the same time, making sure that nothing is puckering. But I'm going to back up so you can see it.
Looks very good.
It looks great, right? So we did our one side. We have a nice, clean, crisp hem. It comes right out from the top, nice and clean, because we chose to fold it under so it looks like a little hem up there. I'm going to add a teeny bit more glue to that top to make sure it's nice and clean. And that's it. That's how you do it. So this trim, because we got cotton twill, do you remember it was like $1.99?
Yeah.
It was
$1.99 a yard.
$1.99 a yard, and we got 2 yards of each. So, 2 yards of 1 yard of white, 1 yard of red for this leg, 1 white, 1 red for this leg. So it was super inexpensive to do. What?
Rex was in the back.
Oh, Rex. Okay, I'm just going to look to see if anything else. Yes, Barbara, that's a great idea. Once it's done, iron it. That will ensure that everything lays totally flat, and it will actually kind of help like fuse the glue. So that's a really great tip. How much glue do you use? You do not need a lot of glue. It's strong, so you don't need a ton. But I will say, as far as machine washing is concerned, Fabri-Tac is machine washable, but not if you're washing your jeans like every single day. At that point, it's not going to hold as great because the sort of like aggressive tension of it in the washing machine is going to start to pull at it more than the actual water or the soap will. So try to always, anytime you use fabric glue, try to spot clean, hand wash whenever you can. But I throw things with fabric glue in the wash all the time. I just try not to do it that often. Okay. And Kelsey, can I tell you that this was my first sponsor in the kimono video. We talked about it. It was my first sponsor. So this isn't a sponsored video, but it is. So I'm excited. Okay. I'm just looking to make sure it looks good. Would you want the red on the white? You could glue the red on the white first if you want. Absolutely makes no difference. Whatever's easier for you. You could make your custom trim first and then glue that all down at once. Whatever's easier. What about turning them inside out? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't even mean, but you can ask it in the questions. We're gonna sign off right now. I'm gonna upload this. So anyone that has any additional questions, please go ahead and ask. Super inexpensive, super simple. It looks great. And again, you guys can do this on a jacket, on a sweatshirt, on joggers.
You want these? I said
For washing, yes. Inside out will help. It won't make the hugest difference in the world. Again, it is machine washable, but it's just when it's in the washing machine and it's getting like, wrenched so much from the movement of the machine that even if it's inside out, it's not necessarily gonna make that much of a difference, but you can wash it. So, just do it as little as you can. All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.